So in this system, all of these are not only realms of existence, but they are also levels of consciousness. Okay? And that's why we strive to awaken these levels of consciousness. The base chakra is where most men are today. All right? And it is it's in these chakras, the base, sex, and solar plexus center is where most of the race on earth is today. And why? These are considered the astral realms. In advanced metaphysics, we understand this to be the realms of distortion. Because why? Because these three lower astral realms are the realms of hate, passion, lust, anger, malice, jealousy. All of those type of attributes exist in these realms of consciousness. When man moved to the higher realms of consciousness, then you have a whole, you have this intelligence and this understanding without all the passion and emotion and everything, because he had risen above that. All right?
Excuse me. Would the bottom three be called also like duality consciousness?
No, not necessarily. It's just different levels of consciousness that you go to. But these are the way I separate it, when anything above here becomes the etheric realms, because they are free from the basic emotion. They have burnt up those basic emotions. If any lust is there, they have control over that lust. If any hatred is there, they have control over that hatred. That hatred. All of this has been balanced out by intelligence and awareness. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Here, in this sea of mind, on these lower chakras, you're like a piece of leaf in the wind. Just, you're at the mercy of the wind, because you allow your emotions to just tear you apart and just, you respond to it constantly. You have no control. You just allow these basic feelings to rule your next move. See? Yeah.
Can you get beyond those levels of consciousness in one lifetime?
Yes, you can. I mean, it depends on how much you want to put into it and how much you want to sacrifice.
Because it takes sacrifice to get up to those other
Yes,
four
yes, you have to give up a lot of stuff. The way some of the Buddhist sects or the Hindus or the Archetist monasteries, what they would do, they make these elaborate what they call, they copied it off of Patanjali. Everybody know about Patanjali? He was a great master that came to this earth. He was an avatar too. And what he gave the 8 limbs of yoga under Raja Yoga. And I think I mentioned that in there. And they go and they put all these 8 different disciplines upon themselves to kill out the basic emotions, so that they can take control of their own destiny through this will of consciousness. All right. So that's what yoga is all about. Yoga is about making union with God, but you use various techniques of different systems to inhibit the basic emotions and allow the soul, which is the real aspect of you, because everything else is just a shell. Okay, the body is just a tool. The body is just like, it's like a vehicle. You know, so what the soul does, the soul creates all these vehicles to move through these different realms of existence, and once the soul have mastered each level, a greater portion of the soul's awareness can shine through each one. Now, in the base chakra, how did the soul get here? And I'm gonna go forward with this, then I'm gonna go back so you'll understand the cosmic part of this. We're just talking about the body. What the soul did, the soul, everyone heard of Shiva?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about Shiva?
Destruction and creation.
That's a good one. What else?
The god
Anyone
of
else?
sexuality.
Huh?
The god of sexuality.
Shiva, in basic terms, so you'll understand, it's the only thing it means. Absolute. It means absolute. What is absolute?
Everything. Everything and nothing.
It's everything. It's God. If there is a God, then God must be absolute. You add nothing to it, and you can, but you know, it can't be added to because it's everything. So Shiva is positive, negative, right?
And positive and
And
negative.
then is positive and negative. And then is negative and positive. Right? So this is, you know, this is the sum total of everything. All right? The scientists like to draw something like this. But it's the sum total of everything. So what happens from Shiva comes what?
Shakti.
Shakti. What is Shakti? Everybody know what Shakti is?
The female principle.
The
female principle.
The female principle, but it's more than that. Shiva is power, for lack of terms, but is all power, right? Now, in some Hindu sects, they call Shiva positive and they call Shakti negative, right? But that's really not true, because if Shiva is positive, then where did Shakti come from? So Shiva is not only positive, but it's negative, it's positive, negative, and negative positive. It's everything.
It's the sum of the total.
It's the sum, yeah. It's because it's positive, negative, and neutral. Right?
Everything that can will be.
So in order to in every book, in every book of creation, or you know, in every religion, they say that God spoke the word, and what happened?
It happened.
And the word became God.
Huh? Creation came about, right? So in the Hindu and the Buddhist teachings, they say that there was Shiva, everything, and then all of a sudden, Shiva produced something called Vak in Hindu terminology, or Sanskrit terminology. And Vak means that it's called the first spoken word, right? Now, they go a little bit further than most other teachings. God spoke the word, and when God spoke the word, Shiva separated from Shakti. I mean Shakti separated from Shiva, all right? And then you had this long line of modifications of Shakti, which brought about creation. So in creation, you have this Vak, which the Vak is the first spoken word, but the continuous vibration of Vak is called Nata. Okay? Anybody seen this in the teachings? And Nata is subtle sound vibrations, and what it is actually the signature configurations of all creation. So Nata is Shakti, and Shakti is Nata. So Nata actually it actually gives shape and meaning to Shakti. Shakti is the power that produces everything. It's all power. It's all manifestation in Shakti. But Nata is the thing that gives the movement of it. Gives Shakti its movement.
Momentum.
And yes, its momentum.
Yeah.
So then another thing. So when Nata comes out, Nata produces Shakti or the vehicle for Shakti to get out. Shakti does the thing that everyone does. It lays out its principles in your packet. The first diagram. I'll lay this out for you. The Nata, and you have the Shakti. And then Shakti have 4 principles that it sets up in order to govern itself. Now what I did, I kind of took some of the Sanskrit names away so you can understand it, okay? Shakti as mind. What mind does to Shakti? Mind actually holds Shakti together. Okay? Now, mind is an energy. A lot of us, we get these erroneous thoughts that we have mind, that mind is in our body. We live in a sea of mind. We live in a whole sea of mind. Okay? And it's so obvious, it's kind of ridiculous that most people can't see that.
You mean like an organizing intelligence?
We live in a sea of mind. If you look at history tells you that. When someone invents something, someone on the other side of the world comes to the same conclusion without communicating with
Universal
each other.
consciousness.
Yes, it's a universal consciousness. When the phone system was invented, it was also invented in 2 or 3 other places around the world. Simultaneously. So, and it's the same thing with the steamship. It's the same thing with submarines. All of these things came about at the same time in different parts of the world. Because why?
Because
the universal mind of the world had actually raised to that level to allow them to come up with the mathematical computations in order to bring that forth. That's all it was. So mind actually holds Shakti together. Okay? That's one of the principles of Shakti. It actually holds things together. The mind, when the mind in this water bottle leaves, what happened to the water bottle?
It disintegrates.
It disintegrates. When the consciousness or mind that holds your body together, the body disintegrates.
Yes, there's dust.
Yes. So mind holds everything together.
You say mind is vibration?
Mind, well, it's more than vibration. Mind is a level of consciousness. We have this universal level of consciousness, but inside the universal consciousness, we have these sparks, or what the Hindus call a bindu, a point of consciousness. Okay? We have these points of consciousness that actually involve themselves and work their selves back into the universal sea of mind. Okay? So right now, each one of us are a point of consciousness. All right? So, and then, since you have mind, then you can bring prana on. Prana, there again, is an aspect of Shakti. Prana is all power in manifestation. And it's actually the physical, the subtle and physical building blocks of everything. All right? Because mind shapes prana in order to form things. Now, the next thing you have is the framework of knowledge, right? Which we call Nadi, which is wisdom. And wisdom is that framework of knowledge, okay? And then you have the Shakti as love, okay? Now everybody look at love as, this uri thing, This lustful thing. It has nothing to do with that. We live by the grace of God. Love is the power of preservation. Okay? Love is an energy. It's an energy. Because if you had something, right, and you really like that something, what do you do to it?
Preserve it.
You try to preserve it. So love is the energy of preservation. That's what it is. It preserves things. So those are the 4 principles of Shakti. And then from that, it moves out again. This wave of Nata Shakti moves out from the absolute source, and it creates what you always hear inside of the Hindu and the Buddhist terminology, the Mahabhutas. I'm sure everybody heard of that, the Mahabhutas. Mm-hmm. Well, the Mahabhutas is the etheric elements of the universe. That's what they are. Now, if you look at scientists, they'll say, oh, it's these, it's these subtle particle rays that's pushing out through space from all the different suns or whatever, and it's metallic, it's gaseous, and all this other stuff. But the ancient people, they described, they made it simple and said it's the Mahabhuta. Or it's these universal elements.
Also called like elementals?
Yeah. And it goes out, and they break it up into 5 different categories. And you can and when it's on a cosmic level, they use certain Sanskrit terminologies. When it's on a solar level, they use a different set of cosmic terminologies, and then when it gets into the body, they use a whole different another set. Okay. So that's that's kind of the gist of it, and this chart lays out in a simple fashion. It's Akasa, Vaya, and it tells you it has like sound, speed, air touch for Vaya, Tejas, You know, all of these are the different Sanskrit names, but they are the different elements, the universal elements, okay? Then you come to the sun. Now the sun, our particular sun, is the God of the Bible. Is the God of the Hindu Bible. Is the God of the Torah. And it only makes sense. The sun of this solar system is a living, breathing entity, right? It's not the absolute, but
It's a reflection.
it's a God. It's a God to us. And when the Bible spoke of the creation of earth, they spoke of the sun. It wasn't speaking of the absolute, because the universe was already in existence. And mankind kind of figured that out by using astrophysics. That the earth is young compared to the galaxy, to the universe. So the sun, if you go to the next one, the sun is, and I have this up on the website, so you'll have it in color. It looks much better in color. The sun is actually the entity that's, I don't know, countless of billions of years old. And what it does, it actually creates all life in the solar system. Or let's not say create, but it's a vehicle for all life in the solar system to enter and go through a set of experience through. All right? So what does the sun do? The sun actually repeat the same thing that the absolute did in order to bring about life on the lower levels or lower realms of itself. And what does it do? The sun
Repeats a mantra.
release a sound vibration.
Very
And that sound vibration is also a Nadi wave. The scientists call this solar plasmic substance that's actually all around the solar system. The ancient people called it Nata or Sata, which is a sound vibration. And in this Nata or Sata, it creates these rays,
Tavic ray.
360 Tavic rays. All right? And these rays blanket the whole solar system. And particularly our Earth, these rays is actually the fabric that all the atmosphere and the whole Earth is made of. All right? And they are conditioned by the Earth, the sun, and the moon. All right? And if you look into the ancient teachings, the ancient Sanskrit teachings, and those are the things that actually give you meaning to all these chakras. Because as these rays fall down on the earth takes so many of these rays and condition them in order to build the bodies of all the species on earth. Now with man, the earth take 118 rays and condition them and build the base chakra and sex chakra realms of existence and levels of consciousness. Then the earth allows another set of rays to come in through the solar plexus center, which is 52, and 54, which is 109, and allow 109 rays to come directly to to man and influence the solar plexus and the heart chakra. So it's 106, yeah. 106. So then we have the rest of the rays, which is influenced by the moon, which is the throat chakra and the Christ chakra, which is a total of which is 72, yeah, and 64. All right. Now, the moon conditioned those type of rays and build the mental realms of the earth. Okay? So, now, each one of these rays account for a realm of existence. And they account for a material that can be used to manufacture the bodies, which are the physical body, the astral body, the pranic bodies, the mental bodies, and the etheric bodies. All right? And all those bodies fit into this one little thing you call your body. These are different levels of consciousness. And then you have the 5 pranas that's actually carried. You have 5 major pranas that are actually carried on these waves to Earth, which is prana, and I have them listed here. Apana, samana, dana, and vijnana. These are the 5 major pranas. They are subtle pranas that's pushed from the sun, and they help manipulate the energies in the body. The prana moves from the throat area down to the solar plexus center, and apana moves from the base chakra up to the solar plexus center. The samana is stationed at is centralized at the solar plexus center, and the udana is centralized in the throat center, but it also circulates in all the extremities: the foot, the legs, the hands, and the arms, and the head. And then vijnana is in the sex center, and it travels throughout the whole body. And these are the pranas of the body. Now, these pranas also produce minor pranas, which 5 minor pranas, which has something to do with the physical functions and the mental functions of the body. When these pranas leave the body dies. And you have something now with all of these, you have the Nadis that starts from the base chakra. And the Nadis, everybody heard of the Nadis?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody heard of the Nadis?
I thought you were talking about the 108 different
No, those are the chakras. The Nadis is like a subtle nervous system in the astral and etheric bodies. The Nadis actually start from the base chakra, and it goes up to each chakra. Now, I tell you, diverse. When the soul gets ready to build the body, right? What the soul does, the soul takes this Shakti power. It takes this Shakti power and it pushes this Shakti power
Sushumna.
down what is called the Brahmic line. Everybody know what Brahman means, right? Who doesn't know? Brahmic is just another name for God. Okay? Now, it takes this, and this Brahmic line exists in what is called Sushumna Nadi. Now, it's easy to remember this because Sushumna Nadi, I'm going to make it easy. Sushumna Nadi is actually the spine. Okay, everybody know all of us have a spine. And in the center of the spine is this little tiny cavity. And this is called the Brahmic line of force. This is actually where your higher consciousness resides, undisturbed. It's where the highest aspect of the soul is, okay? So what the soul does, the soul pushes this Brahmic line. Now you gotta understand, it's kind of, I know it's kind of confusing, but the Brahmic, but Sushumna actually exists, you know, in an open space too. There's always this civil line inside of the universal mind that's untouched. So inside the body, we have located it to be in the spine. That's why when the spine is broken, there's no movement, all right? Because the energy flow has been disturbed. So this Brahmic line of force, the soul pushes this down. It pushes particles of this Shakti power down this Brahmic line of force, moving it from a whole position, in Sanskrit terminology, to a not whole position. And what does it do? It brings about this thing called consciousness. See, because at this level, you have what?
Absolute.
You have all awareness, right? Down here, consciousness actually means something that's limited, you know? So it brings about the thing that we know of our existence as consciousness.
Or separation.
But we'll say limited consciousness here. Okay? So now, how does it do this? When it gets to this point, we are told that there is tremendous pressure here. Now, in Hindu terminology and Buddhist terminology, when we hear pressure, the first thing we think about is karma. Everybody heard of karma, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, karma is the thing that brings about limitation in our life, right? Because the word for karma is actually, the meaning for karma is actually actions. And this sounds kind of crazy, but every time you have to move around, you limit yourself. All right? So that's why the old phrase, be still.
And know that
Everybody
you-
know it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, be still
and know that you are God.
and know that what?
That you are God.
That you are God. All right? Because in stillness is absoluteness. All right? And silence is absoluteness. So this tremendous karmic pressure comes about, and this Shakti power moves into a 3.5 knot. What is a 3.5 knot? Anybody remember?
The resting
Kundalini.
Kundalini.
It swirls around.
Okay? This 3.5 knot becomes Kundalini. Kundalini is the vehicle of consciousness that the soul uses throughout all its incarnations. Okay? So this is how the soul brings about evolution. It pushes this Shakti power down Sushumna, creating this tremendous pressure on it, and twists this Shakti power into a 3.5 energy configuration, creating a vehicle of consciousness. And now this wave of all awareness becomes not whole, and it creates this limited consciousness that the soul can operate on in the base chakra. And now you're cut off from your divinity. Okay? Yeah. And King David said we're born into iniquity. You know, that's what he meant by that. So now the yoga systems comes about in order to
Work our way back up.
work our way back up, to untangle this knot. All right? So what happens, when this happens, the Shakti power, which has tremendous power, it goes into a sleep. And over 98% of the power becomes dormant. Becomes dormant. So now when we think, when we look, when we see, when we smell, we only see a fraction of the power. We only see and smell and think of a fraction of the power. So 98% of it is dormant. So now what we have to do, we have to use techniques to wake up this Kundalini. But even further, when the Kundalini goes in this 3.5 knot, the energy separates. All right? And this is how we get the Nadis. This energy, when it goes into 3.5 knot, it wants to find its equilibrium. It wants to become whole again. So what happened when the knot is formed, it actually blocks the doorway back up to Sushumna. So the knot's formed and it blocks this passageway. So the energy cannot it cannot go up, right? So what happened, it separates. You have Pingala
And Ida on the right.
and Ida. So Pingala is the positive part of Shakti, and Ida is a negative energy of Shakti.
Isn't Pingala on the right?
Pingala is the vitality.
Isn't Pingala on the right?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, Pingala is on the right. And Pingala is the vital energy, which is the positive energy. And Ida is the mental energy, the negative energy. And Ida and Pingala, what it does, it moves out of the energy configuration looking for a way to get back into Sushumna. Because Ida and Pingala, inside of Sushumna, is unified and it runs in one direction.
Downward.
So what happens, it moves out and it goes to the sex chakra, knowing that this is a vortex center of power that's connected to Sushumna. And it goes there and tries to enter, but it can't. And it keeps traveling up and up, going to each chakra until it reaches the Christ chakra. And there it finds some level of equilibrium at the Christ chakra, but it still can't enter into Sushumna. So what happens is by the soul creating that configuration, the soul brings about a vehicle of expression that each one of us can work through. And that's how we have all our different levels of consciousness. Now, our basic consciousness is here. And what yoga does, especially Tantra yoga, what it does is it teaches us to bombard this basic chakra to unravel the 3.5 knot in order to push the energy back up. Yeah, so it can go back up. So one of the ways it does this is through the many different forms of yoga, because the Nadis actually builds this subtle matrix that allow all everything to exist. Because after the Nadis, and I'm just showing one part of the Nadis as go up, you have actually 242,000 Nadis within the body.
It's about a struggle.
So the Nadis build this matrix, and then from the Nadis, the astral body, the etheric body is built, the mental bodies is built, and then the astral bodies is built. The prana has these, because prana travel through these tube-like, the Nadis are like little tiny tubes, and the prana travels through there. Now, every time the Nadis intersect 21 times, right, you have a major chakra. You have a major chakra located there. Every time the Nadis intersect 14 times,
A minor chakra.
you have a minor chakra there. And every time the Nadis intersect 7 times, you have what is called a minute chakra. Okay? And each one of these chakras are different levels of consciousness. Okay? And remember I told you, you have 108 known chakras. So, and when I say, and they're vortex centers of consciousness, that means that subtle energy is traveling through and out those points. Now, the Chinese, when they developed, if they did, or discovered acupuncture, they use that type of knowledge, that type of knowledge in order to do acupuncture. Because they realize that this subtle energy travel ins and out of those parts of the body. So they located either major, minor, or minute chakras in order to do their acupuncture. All right? And now in yoga, all yoga deals with the purification of the nadis. It deals with the purification of the nadis. And we have to purify the nadis. And once we purify the nadis, when I say purify the nadis, we clear the nadis out. We clear it out in order to have a free flow through these tube lights so that we can push energy in and out. And once we can push energy in and out, we can, if you have a free flow, what happens? You create what?
Right.
Velocity, right? If I have a road that I can just go, it's clear and I just go, I can pick up speed, right? So you have to clear the nadis out in order to create this speed, this velocity. And then what happens, once you clear it out, you can channel the energy down and you can build up enough energy to wake up the Kundalini. And when you wake up the Kundalini, you actually untie the Kundalini to allow the Kundalini to begin to rise back up, Sushumna. Because you have to untangle the knot, because the knot is the thing that's blocking the door to Sushumna. So when you unravel it, then you push the energy up, Sushumna, and you remove all the energy, all 242,000 pathways of this Nadi, you channel that energy up, Sushumna. And then you have this awakening, right? Because inside of each chakra is that thing we call the Bindu, right? And in the Bindu, you have that Bindu. And that Bindu is a point of consciousness. And that's where you want to get. So you channel all the energy so that the energy rises up to the sex chakra, right? And open that. And the Bindu is the I, and behind the Bindu is the I am. The I am is the spirit. The I is the soul. And then the soul is bathed in the light of the spirit. The Bindu is an all-knowledge space. It's an all-knowledge space. So now, what's the danger of all of this?
You could die.
You can die. And you will die. Because what happened when you move all the energies, right? And you bring the energies to this base, the base of the spine. When you move all the lower energies from the body up to this base, you actually there's actually 4 petals here, and the 4 petals are the petals where the Nadis exit. They exit that chakra from, right? And each center has so many petals, and that's where the Nadis enter and exit. Well, the first meditation you have to vibrate those 4 petals, and those 4 petals are like this. They are signature petals for the consciousness. And you have these 4 petals. And the concentration of those 4 petals will give you the knowledge of that particular chakra. When you get the knowledge of that particular chakra, you can untie that knot. And when you do that, you move all the energy from the lower part of the body up to that one chakra in order to open that bindu. And that means that the lower part of your body becomes totally paralyzed because there's no energy there. You place the lower part of your body into a conscious death state. So then you take that energy and you move up to the next chakra, which is the sex chakra. And you have to do the same thing there. You have 6 petals. You make a meditation on those 6 petals and you unravel the knowledge of those 6 petals, which is actually BJs or seed mantras. And inside the sound vibration of those petals is tremendous megabytes of knowledge. And what it does, it gives you the ability to open the key. It's the key to opening the bindu. And when you do that, all the knowledge of that particular realm is shown to you. But from the sex center down, you enter a conscious state of death. And you go to the next chakra, to the solar plexus chakra, and you use that one. I think there's 10 petals there. And you concentrate, contemplate on those, and meditate on those 10 petals. And it gives you the key to open that particular bindu. And from the solar plexus center down, you go into a conscious state of death. The organs die.
Just to make sure I understand, for the bindu, each bindu has a bijan or a seed sound which you meditate on in
Yes.
order to activate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
And that's a mantra? What type of mantra?
It's a mantra. The seed sound actually came from the bindu. In fact, the bindu released a BJ, a major BJ for that, which is a seed sound or seed mantra. It releases for that particular chakra. It represents that chakra, and then it also creates the petals, which is another seed sound vibration. But the petal is usually like this or like that. It's like a two letter in Sanskrit, but it has a particular sound to it. Okay, but we're actually limited in how we can express it in English. Now, then you concentrate this wave of energy up to the next chakra, to the heart chakra, and the heart beat stops. The lungs stop. You're no longer breathing. You're in a conscious state of death. And you move this and you go into this great meditation. You release from this physical, astral, and etheric body. And you go into this great state of bliss. And then you take the energy to the throat chakra. And the same thing, you can't speak at that point. And you meditate on all these 16 petals. You open that bindu, and you go into this deep state, and you take it up to the Christ chakra. To the Christ chakra, you become a master. And all knowledge, all wisdom is given to you at that level. And to the crown chakra, you become an avatar. But you're in a conscious state of death. Now the key is, you have to bring the energy back down in order to be able to walk around again. The 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus spent in the mountain after speaking with John the Baptist, that's what he did. He went into a deep state of meditation. When he came out, he had powers unbelievable to us, but he had the knowledge of the universe with him. And that's what every great master does. Buddha, same thing. You know? So Sri Krishna, the same thing. Loese, you know, all these, Sekachara, Patanjali, all of these were great masters of yoga that went into these deep states of meditation. Now with each chakra gives you the knowledge of, you know, of that particular realm, and gives you powers, tremendous powers to separate your consciousness, powers to levitate, powers to solve all different types of problems. It gives you great foresight too. And because you have the foresight, you don't use the power, only when it's necessary. So because with it comes great karma. And the law of karma restrict you from doing certain things. So the same thing with Jesus, when he was up on the cross, the law of karma restricted him from actually, you know, freeing himself and killing everybody that was there. One of us probably would have did it, huh? Yeah.
Have you ever tried doing this yourself?
Yeah, I did. So the thing is that the law of karma restricted him, but the thing that Jesus did, which shows his mastership of this, is that he allowed them to kill him, but he kept a frame of mind. And when they brought about the death, because once you reach the throat chakra, you become conscious 24 hours a day. So Jesus was a Christ being. They call him Jesus Christ. So he was already conscious 24 hours a day. So when he slept, his body slept. He didn't. He just stepped out of his body and went about his mission. So when they killed him, when they brought about a death of the body, that just put him on a different level, a different existence. And what he did, he stepped out of his body, rebuilt his body into what is called a risen body or ascended body, and he stepped back in, and they say he raised from the dead. So what he did, he reversed karma in a sense. He manipulated karma to his benefit, because to just strike out and kill everybody that was there would have been wrong, but he allowed them to do something good through their bad actions. And their bad actions was to kill him. And when they killed him, he said, okay, he stepped out, rebuilt the body, and he stepped back into the body and walked among man.
Yeah, that version gave him the credits.
So that's, you know, so that's what's the difference. Now, an ascended body, of course, everybody heard of, I hope you did, of the spiritual hierarchy of earth. Everybody heard of that, or what they call the Great White Brotherhood?
Mm-hmm. Type Brotherhood?
The Great White Brotherhood. You heard of it? Like Saint Germain?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, well, an ascended body is those type of people. They have broke the will of rebirth. So what Jesus did, Jesus took when his body went into this death-like state, he quickly moved Kundalini to the crown chakra, breaking the will of rebirth. And so therefore, all the molecules of that particular body and all the consciousness that made up that body, the auric field, everybody heard of the aura, right? Mm-hmm. All of that is your consciousness. That's you. Mm-hmm. That magnetic wave around you, that's the real you. That's how you really look. You know, this body is just a tool. So he took all this energy and pushed it all the way up to the crown chakra, so that the elements that made up that body would never ever have to be reincarnated and go through this dormant state of unconsciousness, subconscious, never anymore. So he ascended that body. So that body still exists today.
Yeah.
Unless he took it and ascended to another level, because it's possible to do that. So that was the difference. That was one prime example in history to show that someone did that. There was many other masters that resurrected too. Jesus wasn't the only one that did that.
Women?
Women did it too.
Virgins, right? Virgin Mary.
You might have more women descendants than men, because men so violent. But because women are actually, and no joke, women are actually more spiritual than men. And that's why you see all the ancient religions respect women more than what they respect men, because they realize that. But you have all of these masters throughout history, like Patanjali, Sri Krishna, Laozi, Buddha, Elijah was a great master. In the Bible, they say that Elijah ascended, right? Enoch was a great master. He ascended. Peter was a great master. What he did the same thing. He ascended too, but of course they don't record that. But he had to bring about death of his body in order to ascend or do whatever the mission he did. Paul was a great master too. Sekachara was a great master. I Ching was a great master as well. Okay, somebody everybody should know was Mahatma Gandhi. He was a great yogi master too. And he had to be. I mean, you see what he did. I mean, it was unbelievable. And we had in this last century, we had Sivananda, Swami Sivananda. He was a great yogi master. We had Dr. George King out of England. He was a great master. And we had Swami Vivekananda. He wrote the famous book Raja Yoga and Kama Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. He was a great master, a great yogi master. You had Paramahansa Yogananda. He was a yogi adept. So who wrote the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi? Anybody ever seen that book?
Mm-hmm.
It's a real popular book. And he talks about all different types. He had his master was a great master, Sri Yukteswar, and he wrote a book called The Science of Religion. And his master's master was a great avatar. Lahari Mase, lived in the 1800s. He was a great master. His master raised the dead in front of several people. And then his master was the Lord Babaji, which is a great Mahadavatar. So you have many masters here on earth, and that did this and that ascended and everything. So it's the only thing you have to do is go. All of them in the library. Just go to the library and read about it.
Would you say that some are dormant as far as society is not aware?
What?
If you're a master, but you're not publicly.
Yeah, there's a lot that's not. They don't publicize. No. They not on psychic network, in other words.
Right.
Anyone that is, question them. Okay? Anyone that's on psychic network, question them. All right, that's the worst thing you can do. So to go, if you develop certain powers to actually go on a psychic network channel. These teachings are not we don't sell teachings. And the only way you would buy teachings from me is if you buy my book. But it's not really for me, it's for the publisher. But we don't sell teachings. And anyone that does, you gotta question them. All right? You know, majority of times, the only way we would elicit money is we've actually paying for a space, you know, but we're taught not to sell these teachings. We give these teachings away free. All right? So anyone who have these teachings and selling them, then question them. All right? I think that's about it for today. We'll pick up next week if you come. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. You said there's 360 degrees, but not touch the crown. So I'm wondering.
The crown is the state of Shiva. If you see any book that start going deep into the crown, throw it away.
Gotcha.
You know, crown is the Buddhic state.
You're right.
You become your own light kind of thing.
Yeah, you went above the gotcha.
And when you raise Kundalini to the crown, to the Christ chakra, first you raise Kundalini to the throat chakra.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's the chakra of total purification. Okay, and that chakra teaches you to what needs to happen to go to the Christ chakra. Then when you can raise Kundalini into the Christ chakra gives you all the information to go to the crown chakra. And only then, and at that point, you don't certain things you cannot share karmically, you cannot share with anyone. So that takes you to the state of avatar where you break the will of rebirth.
Gotcha.
All right. So you know and then in that there's a whole nother set. I mean, we have basic teachings about that particular chakra. So usually we don't really teach it. I mean, we have it, and only we refer to it just to make reference to the other part of the body. But that particular chakra, you have a whole different set of Tavic rays. All right. Yeah.
In the Kundalini knot, what, 3.5? Is there-
That's just the ancient.
Is the ancient? Okay.
That's the ancient. That's the thing that was in the ancient books. It was a 3.5 energy configuration, or 3.5 knot. Now each Nadi, in fact, each chakra is actually referred to as a Nadi knot. Okay, but I gave it to you like this so that you can understand it, to let you know how many Nadis make up that. Yeah.
I was talking to Dwayne a while ago about, this basic information, and he told me that even knowing this general basic information, there comes a great karmic responsibility with it. Can you describe that? Like, what's the basic responsibility of knowing this basic stuff?
When you know something, then you need to act on it. When you don't act on it, then there's,
So
there's just karmic pressure from not acting on something that you know.
You're held accountable for what you know.
Yeah.
So our responsibility is, now that we know it, to act upon it.
I mean, try to learn as much as you can on it, and try to apply it, and you can apply it in different ways. That don't mean you have to go out there and begin practice yoga every day of your life, but you're aware that there's a greater world, and there's a greater, and that, because this is just, I just brush, I can go deep into this. And if you come back to other classes, you'll see we'll get deeper and deeper into it. Each level teaches you something. It teaches you how to act, how to govern yourself, things you should do, you shouldn't do. It's a way of life. So the more information you have on it, the greater responsibility you have in life to try to apply it.
Guidelines.
Guidelines.
Yes.
So, but this is this is a true pathway of of tantra yoga, and we can get deeper and deeper into it. It's not an easy pathway, and it's not that glamorous the way most people would think it is.
So less confusing than other pathways.
Huh?
So less confusing than other pathways, like the Bible trying to do the same thing but a different way, trying to make it as simple.
But most of the teachings in the Bible is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not there. Most of the real teaching's been taken out. If you go and trace history, you'll see that. The real, and just like in the Torah, what the Jews did, they removed the Kabbalah from the Torah. And the Kabbalah is the mystic teachings, and the Kabbalah is the teachings that have the essence.
Resembles.
Yeah, it kind of resembles this too.
Tree of life.
Tree of life. Yeah.
The tree of life, yeah. But the tree of life is actually a chakra system.
Kind of exploded.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving you like I told you, it was 108 chakras.
Yeah.
But the tree of life, they instead of breaking it down to 7, they break it down to 21 or something like that. Or
12.
12, 13.
is it 12? I mean, they break it down, but when you place it against the body, you see in the middle that you have the you have all the chakras.
Cool. When you're going to meditate and to untie the knot, you're essentially like just trying to focus the energy through vibration, through will.
Well, that's what I get into the next class.
Yeah.
There's a method. No one, I doubt if anyone in this room can meditate. Okay? So first you have to concentrate. And then when you develop the power to concentrate, then you move to the level of contemplation. When you can contemplate, then you move to the level of meditation. The biggest lie in the market is this whole meditation thing. Okay? Concentration is taking your thought and centering it down one channel. And
a lot of crap going on.
No, you think about one thing and that's it. And when you can do that, when you can actually do that, then what happens
For 12 hours.
the same way if you take some electrons, right, and you shoot electrons down a copper wire, right? If you take that copper wire and you wrap it around an iron rod, what happens?
It's a magnetic
What happens to
field.
that rod?
It's magnetized.
The rod becomes magnetized. Well, you have this auric body around you. When you charge that auric body with potentized thought, because thought is two things. Thought is actually prana, right? What I tell you? It's prana, right? Molded with mind. So what you do when you concentrate, then you single that thought, and all the inside your aura. If someone look at you, right? You have this aura around you, right? The normal person have an aura around them, but they have this jagged,
distorted.
When they look at you psychically, they see all these different pictures, right? Of all these things that's running through your mind, right? So when you single the mind, this disappears. And you have a crystal clear aura. Right?
Clearing the lane.
So now what happens, the mind can be focused and trained, and now the mind and the body becomes it creates this magnetic quality. And this magnetic quality that it creates takes you to the next level, which is contemplation. Now, at contemplation, you begin to see visions. You begin to see, not only think, but you begin to receive new information. If I was concentrating on this, then I would begin to actually see
The bottle of Buddha.
all different type of information about this. You know, the first thing I see is probably the people who pack. I see the manufacturer company who pack this. I actually see the people doing it. And then you'll go further. You'll see how they made the bottle. Then you will see the atomic configuration of the bottle, right? And that's contemplation is psychic powers. All right.
Did you say it happens to artists?
Sometimes, yeah, a lot of artists. That's how they come up with those weird and crazy pictures.
And music.
Yeah, and music, especially music. And what happens? They begin to pick up images from the realm in which they're working from. So when you had an artist that draw these beautiful inspirational pictures, and then you had an artist that draw these gothic type things, you know where they're from. They probably lived in the hells for a number of lifetimes, you know. And then when they go into these psychic states, they pull on that. You know, the same thing with the music artists, you know, that come up with these terrible lyrics and songs, you know, and this music that tear into your aura, you know. So it's the same thing. You have inspiration from the lower realms, you got inspiration from the higher realms, same thing. So contemplation gets you to that point where you become psychic, but you want this crystal clear psychic ability. So when you develop the contemplation, you want to use a technique called sanyama, where you actually begin to do samples, sanyama samples on everything. Everything you touch, everything you look at, you do a sanyama on. You link yourself with that, and you pick up the energy or the power of that particular thing. And from there, from contemplation, you move into meditation. Meditation is when you become one with that you meditate on. In other words, if I was meditating on this, I become the bottle. I become I live the existence of this. I blend my consciousness with this. So then I know everything about this. And that's real meditation. At this point of meditation, when you get to that point of meditation, because there's many levels of meditation, there's even contemplative levels that resembles meditation. You become almost unconscious of yourself. It's an unconscious state because you're unconscious of yourself, but you're conscious of what you're meditating on. You know, it's not blanking the mind. Don't ever blank the mind. I found out a few weeks ago, a lot of these people blank their mind. Don't do that. That's very dangerous. All right, when you blank your mind,
My bad.
you know,
Mine too.
when you blank your mind, disconnected entities can enter your aura.
Oh, okay.
And they can lock themselves in your aura. When you blink your mind, that's like leaving your front door open. So anyone can come in. In fact, when you blink your mind, you put a sign up there on your front door. Welcome and come on in, you know? And that's how people get possessions. That's how people get these weird flights of emotion, and they just take on different aspects. I mean, it's not them. And they don't know why. And they start going through all these drama mama people, because a lot of them they go through periods of blanking their mind, and they take on these different characters, which is not them, but it's because you have, the same way you have crackheads or addicts on this physical plane, you have crackheads and addicts on the other plane, but what they do, they feed on your aura. They feed on your emotions, so they enter your aura and they have you do things so that they can feed on it. And the best, you know, if you ever develop your clairvoyant powers or psychic powers, take a trip to a bar or a club and watch it happen.
Oh, yeah.
You will never go back to a club or a bar again. And you'll watch all these disconnected entities, because they love hanging out in those areas. And you'll watch them enter and exit people's body, because why? They drink the liquor, and when they drink the liquor, the door opens. And people go into their auras and play around with them and eat away at them. You know, and you know, then they develop all these mental and physical ailments from the residue left behind from that entity. You know, so that's why I never blank your mind. That's something that you never do. But meditation, when you get to the meditation, then that's what the teachings actually mean. It doesn't mean blank your mind. It means that you become unconscious of yourself, but conscious of whatever you're meditating on. All right? There's any other, you had a question?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's any other questions?
How you were talking about meditating like on the bottle, I heard of meditating on sacred geometry and like the various platonic solids and the shapes and stuff, and then being able to get all that information from those shapes, and therefore seeing all those shapes in the reality and how everything is built. Is that like what happens essentially? Like you get that information, and therefore you can see it everywhere, kind of thing?
Yeah. But at first it'll be concentration, then contemplation. You know, when you get to the meditative state, by the time you get to the meditative state, that's more of a contemplation, what you're talking about. But when you get to the meditative state, when you receive the information, then you'll know the parameters of how to use it, and therefore you probably won't use it. That's a problem.
Great high responsibility, right?
Because you begin to see how humanity is not ready for it, and that if you did put it out there, you know, and the first it'll go to warfare, and then, you know, so unless you have an army that can protect it, you know, but in most cases you will, you know, or you just might see how to give a little bit of it and keep a lot away from the world. And you can estimate how long it would take mankind to get to the rest of it. You know, but yeah, that's what true meditation will give you all that. Contemplation will give you that. Contemplation will, you know, you'll be able to contemplate to a certain level where you can read the Akashic records and actually see those, you know, how that took place, you know, what it really meant, where did they get it from, and the science behind that. You know, meditation will take you to a level where you will actually see not only how it works on this earth, but maybe throughout the galaxy. That's the level where meditation will take you. All right.
And you need to be able to reach the level of meditation to raise Kundalini in the first place, right?
You can raise Kundalini partially with contemplation.
With contemplation.
Yeah. When you raise Kundalini fully, the way I was talking about, that's a full raise of Kundalini. You do that with meditation. Most psychic powers is when you raise Kundalini from the base chakra to the sex chakra. Most psychics raise just a portion of Kundalini to the sex chakra or to the solar plexus chakra. So that's, you know. Also, to a woman who has a baby, she raised Kundalini up to the solar plexus center in order to have that baby.
Wow.
So that's why a woman becomes very sensitive They become very aware. Their hair grow, or if they got a lot of blockage there, they, you know, their skin go bad, their hair fall out. They become totally bloated. Or, you know, it could be the reverse, but in most cases, good things happen because they raise the power of Kundalini. They raise a portion of Kundalini up to the solar plexus center. But if they have these, some people have these mental blocks or some cloudy type, almost crystal-like substance in their aura, they, you know, when that happens, then the reverse begin to happen because the Kundalini actually have to burn up all of that in order to deliver the baby properly, or force that out so that medical attention can be, you know, given to them, you know. So, you know, but the way our diets are today, you know, that's why they end up taking supplements anyway. But that's what happens. Kundalini rises to a certain level. In order to do it, you can't blink an eye without using Kundalini. Okay? You can't walk, you can't run without using Kundalini. So Kundalini is consciousness, and it's all the body energy. All right? Because behind any movement is consciousness. All right? Any other questions? Okay, then let's close out.